Town Council completes the capital improvement plan. Up next is the operating budget. To find out more, Channel 18's Sarah Colvin talks with Town Manager Tom Lynch. On this episode of Barnstable Today, it's Monday, May 9th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mantle.
Capital improvement plan is now all complete.
On Thursday, we did the last two items that were there for Lombard Field Farm and field improvements, and then also the new windows at the West Barnstable Community Center out there in West Barnstable. So they went through all the items we brought forward. Were approved by the Town Council, and it's nice to put one of the two major budgets that we do this time of year to bed. Following that, we've finished our 2017 operating budget, and this will have a first reading at the next Town Council meeting, $181 million, and this is a process that really started last summer when I met with all of the department heads to talk about the way we intended to, structure the budget, and that we wanted to, as the theme of the budget is to address our municipal responsibilities and take a look at the services we were delivering. Were they cost effective? Where were there gaps? What were they hoping that they could see funded in this coming year? During the fall, we move into getting all of the budget requests in, and then any additional things that they want us to look at, what we call decision packages, where we could look at those items that they thought various departments thought needed to be funded. And then during the winter, we spend a lot of time meeting with department heads, going over all of those requests. And during the spring, that's when we really have to sit and look at all of the numbers and decide what can be funded and what can't. And I know some of the departments will be disappointed at the choices that we finally had to make, but overall we have a budget that is once again balanced. It lives within our means, and we've met all of our various obligations. So I thought perhaps this morning we might just touch on some of those items.
Definitely.
That we looked that we will be that we'll be covering. We will, I think one thing that's going to be a little different is there are going to be seasonal community service offices within the Barnstable Police Department. These are will be members of the police department who will be patrolling downtown Hyannis during the busy summer season. So that's something new that people can see on the streets. We also fund all of the police overtime to make sure that our street crimes unit and all of our responsibilities, are met. We have added to the health division staff 3/4 of a position to have with the hazmat specialists. That was a 3/4 position. We added just an additional 10 hours to that, so that the fees for that are offset, or the cost of that is offset by fees that have already been approved by the Board of Health. We have gateway greeter positions down at in Consumer Affairs down at Bismore Park, and once again we had to increase the hourly wage there, and we've added additional weeks and increased the daily hours that they'll be down there. That was a very popular program that we had last year. Got a lot of compliments from citizens on that, and we've moved forward with that. We have Public Works Department staff changes. We've added two people there that are going to take care of some of the overtime that we've been putting in. So rather than keep expending overtime, we've added staff. So one's going to be at the Austral drawbridge, that we have difficulty sometimes. We want to be sure that should that get stuck manually, the individuals has the technical skills to bring that down, to make sure it's that way. Senior center staffing, last year we talked about the Adult Supportive Day program at the senior center, and that was something the council wanted to see staffed, whether it ran at a deficit or not. So it's rather a large expenditure, and that there's over $162,000 that moves over and to cover all of that, but fees cover about $90,000 of that, so still $72,000 that needed to be picked up in order to continue to run that program. And we've restored the Assistant Recreation Director's position in leisure services. That was eliminated some time ago, but we find that our Community Services Director and our Director of Leisure Services spending a lot of time on various activities that they shouldn't be because of their additional responsibilities. So we thought by filling that position and assigning some of the youth responsibilities, youth commission and other youth activities, that that would be a viable response. We added a half-time to the animal control officer. We get a lot of calls seasonally on all year round on that, so we'll have a full-time, now 2 full-time animal control officers. And we restored the Hamlin's Pond aquatics staffing there. We had a seasonal program, and we're bringing that back. A lot of computer hardware, software maintenance. It's one of those areas that we have to look very carefully at each year as we add various programs. We add licensing and maintenance fees. So the IT department does all of the town with the exception of the the police department. So within the police department, we've had to add additional funding there to make sure we're keeping all of their programs current.
Absolutely.
And then we've also had to cover some of the dollar increases for seasonal staff that have been mandated, and added significant amount of training funds for the police department. And under the Public Works Department, we have a whole variety of things in terms of drainage cleaning and additional asphalt and purchasing, and the solid waste disposal, traffic signals, contracting for plumbing services, and vehicle repairs and maintenance. So there's about $125,000 there. We also have some operating capital that's been put in. So even though we just finished the capital improvement plan, there are some projects that fall below that we want to specifically be sure we're funded. One of them is the landscaping improvements at Stone Park, the land that was donated to us very generously by the Stone family down there at the in the West End. So we've got it clear now and a few trees, but we're going to go in and put irrigation and be able to do a pathway and some landscaping. So those are some of the major things that we'll bring before the council on the 19th. I'm anticipating that that's when we'll do our Mark Milne, our finance director, and I will do our annual budget presentation, and then in June we'll begin the debate on the budget.
Wonderful. And really just those few things that you touched on really shows the wide range of things that are funded through the operating budget, everything from seasonal staff to full-time workers to computer hardware and software upgrades. And it's just looking at the thickness of this book, there's a lot of things in there.
Well, there are a lot of things in this manual, but we'll also be producing an abbreviated version of this. Incidentally, the budget is already up on the website, so anyone wants to go through that, and then we'll have an abbreviated version that people can also look at. And for those that take the time or they're interested in a specific department, we have accomplishments in there over the past fiscal year. We have the goals and objectives that we hope to accomplish in the next fiscal year. I have taken my budget message, I've looked at the strategic plan of the council and try to match those items that we funded with their goals and objectives.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 8 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we'll talk with Police Chief Paul McDonald and DPW Director Dan Santos. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.